In order to celebrate hitting 10K of you amazing humans on my channel, I have decided to bake a cake, a resin cake. It's not going to be edible. Yes, it is completely absurd. It might be epic. So will it be a masterpiece or will it be a resin meltdown? You're going to want to stick around for this because there's going to be some surprises and giveaways. Let's get messy. So for the body of our cake, you could get a cake mold and cast resin in it and essentially make the entire thing with resin. But in my opinion, not only is that going to be super heavy and solid, it's also going to waste a lot of resin. I feel like resin is expensive and I found a solution. I decided to go ahead and use this foam cake. And I think this is kind of what they use to make like dummy cakes. So I feel like we could use this and coat it with resin, and that way we save on a lot of resin and it's not going to be as heavy. So we have this is a 10-inch. I have my turntable somewhat protected now, and I'm also going to lay down this silicone mat because I feel like things are going to get messy. Now I'm going to work with my J-Diction Officials resin, and the filler that I got is this. It's basically a silica adhesive filler by West System. I just got this on Amazon. I will link them in the description below. And apparently it's used to sort of make the resin thick to fill in like gaps and stuff, or to have resin go onto a vertical surface. So it makes it thick enough to be able to apply it vertically. So I'm hoping this should work, but by now you should know on here we're experimenting and it may not. So I'm going to mask up and we're going to get mixing, and they do give some sort of guidelines to what sort of like how many scoops of this filler as to the resin, but that's based on their resin brand. So I feel like I'm just going to have to eyeball it and see if I can keep adding until I get the consistency that I need. All right, PPE is on, so we are good to go. I'm starting off by mixing some of my J-Diction Officials resin, and I want to tint it to be kind of like a soft, creamy color. Just the kind of in-between perfect shade, because let's face it, real icing is never pure white. It's got that delicious, slightly off-white vibe, and that's exactly what I'm going for here. And now comes the bit I've never done before. It is adding this silica into the resin. Now, I know there's a scoop hiding in there somewhere, probably just chilling at the bottom of this. So instead of digging around like a maniac, I grabbed my own. This one here is a 20-gram scoop, and I'm adding it super slowly to the resin, one scoop at a time. Honestly, I have no idea how much it's going to take to thicken this resin up. So we're just going to ease into it slow and steady, no chaos yet. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I have completely lost count of how many scoops I have added, and my arms are screaming. This turned into a full upper body workout because as this resin thickens, mixing it feels like stirring cement. Honestly, it's giving corn flour vibes, like when you're cooking and adding corn flour to thicken a sauce. But hey, it's doing the job. We finally made it to the right consistency for the icing. Hallelujah!
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
And in case you're wondering, it took 15 scoops to thicken 600 grams of resin. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm actually a pastry chef. But here's the funny part. Even though I'm a pastry chef, people always assume I'm constantly making cakes, which I'm not. I mean, I can bake cakes, and I do, not very often, and usually just for my family. So no, cake making isn't part of my day job. But today I am going all in. I'm about to slather this cake down with our thickened resin icing like I mean it. Now the goal here is to completely cover the foam so it doesn't look like foam anymore, just a smooth frosted cake. I'm trying to get it as even as I can without being too precious about it. And honestly, this is seriously giving Is It Cake vibes. Have you seen that show on Netflix? I have watched all of the seasons, low-key obsessed. And right now, I feel like I'm one of the contestants, just casually frosting my not-so-edible masterpiece. Let me know in the comments if you're a fan too. Once I've got this layer somewhat even, it's time for sprinkles. I'm going for that classic chocolate sprinkles on the side look, so I'm just gonna literally toss some onto the edge and hope that the resin grabs into them. And while I'm doing that, I wanna give a special shout out to Sally from All Aboard Resin resin creations. Thank you so much for watching, commenting, and always showing your love to my videos. Your support genuinely means the world to me. So thank you so much, Sally. Next up, we're letting this beauty cure. And while this is happening, I'm moving to the fun part, which is making some toppings. Now I'm going for a classic cake vibe, a little Victoria sponge moment. So I'll be working on some berries and a bit of chocolate to go on top. And I'm using UV resin, mixing some colorants and bringing those juicy details to life. I mean, let's make this cake look extra delicious, even if we can't eat it. And this is me adding some more extra details to the berries to make them look extra berry-like because, you know, resin realism golds. And before we move on, Sky would like to politely remind you to like, comment and sub if you haven't done that already. He insists. Now for the center of this cake, I want to add something really special. This here is the exact date we hit 10K on here, and that moment means so much to me. It's going right in the middle, front and center. And then we're going to do like a little frosting magic all around it. And just like that, it is time for round 2 of the upper body workout. We're back to mixing more resin, tinting it look like frosting, and then adding the thickening agent to get the perfect texture. Honestly, who needs the gym when you've got resin in your life?
2,000 years later.
Piping bag is ready, resin frosting is in, and I'm about to channel my inner Nigella Lawson and get icing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. Like I said, I don't ice cakes that often and definitely never a resin one. But hey, there's always a first time for everything. My icing peaks are actually holding their shape and I am so excited right now. It is working. Reloading the resin into the piping bag and going for round 2 and piped the rest of this beauty. And I also went down to the bottom tier because like I said, this cake is getting the full treatment. We are not cutting corners here. This is resin royalty. And this is when disaster struck. I dropped a little drop of resin on literally the one part that was so important to me. I dropped it on the date. I am so annoyed with myself right now. I'm hoping I can wipe it off, but let's be honest, resin is resin. And even if I clean it, it's still gonna look a bit funky. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I was seriously annoyed. Why is it always the important bit? Honestly. Anyway, moving on, I took my time, gathered myself, and with all the piping done, it is time for the best part. Time to lay out some of those toppings that we made. And I'm just laying out the chocolate, placing the berries, and the beauty of resin is that it's all going to stick together like a dream. Once everything is in place, we let this whole thing cure and let the magic happen. Before we get to the cake reveal, this is the 10K giveaway I promised you guys. I'm going to be giving away 3 sets of these goodies that I created in a previous video. All you have to do is be subscribed to my channel, like this video, and comment 10K in the comments to enter. Bonus entries if you follow me on Instagram. You have until a week to enter, and I'm going to pick the winners on Wednesday next week, so make sure you've entered by then. Good luck, my lovelies. Let's get back to the cake. A slice, anyone? Just kidding. Did you really think I would celebrate with you guys with a resin cake and not a real one? I wish I could send you guys a bite, but here is our inedible twin. No crumbs, no calories, just a cake that I can finally have forever. The only cake that defies both science and dieting. This is my cake dream, honestly. Wait, I did promise you another surprise. Underneath all of this is that milestone that has been burned into my heart forever. Because 10,000 of you incredible humans, thank you so much for making this happen. This cake isn't just resin, it's a whole moment. And I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I shall see you in the next video. Did you really think I would celebrate? See, this is why my resin cake is better, because it doesn't do that. Now I have cake everywhere. If you've enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you will like these too, so go check them out.